all right. Gene Burnett from geneburnett.com. I thought today we'd talk about something that I call relaxed abdomen versus engage your core. There's kind of a couple of currents of thought in the Tai Chi world, martial art world, internal arts world about what's going on in the middle part of your body. One side of the road states that these movements are rooted in the feet and powered by your legs, right? Legs provide the power. It doesn't matter whether you're hitting a baseball bat or pushing a car, your legs provide the power. Your feet are your root, your legs are your power. Now your waist is the rotation that either adds a little bit of power to the power that's generated by the legs or directs it, or both. So they say the movements are directed by the waist in here, right? And then expressed by the hands, the upper limbs. So in the relaxed abdomen theory or way of moving or striking or like doing a Tai Chi form, you would want your abdomen soft and relaxed. And by soft and relaxed, I mean not engaged or firm. Now some people might call that relaxed, but what I'm saying in the video is, for me, relaxed is this idea that there is no excess tension in the middle of the body. It's very soft. And what this does is it helps you do very whippy-like strikes. So the force comes up your legs and it's just whipped around your waist, your core, and that goes through your spine and out your hands. So you'll see this kind of thing in Chen style, where they'll do stuff like that. They'll snap it out there. There's a kind of whip-like quality to the thing. And the fluid and relaxed waist helps the waist not encumber that, according to the theory, not get in its way, so that this energy that your legs develop just goes right out to your hands. The strikes are very whippy. They have a sort of snap to them. And also I've noticed that the people who do this the most, who do the relaxed core thing the most, don't actually hit anything. They are most often doing a punch in a form that has a whippy quality in a form, and they'll be doing it like that. It whips through their body, and it looks impressive. It has a whip-like quality. It's fast. If you have a like a baggy gi or a Chinese like silk suit on, you hit that, and the fabric kind of goes. It can even snap sometimes, and it's very impressive. But I'm more impressed with people who can actually hit things these days, because I started doing pad works 4 or 5 years ago, and I began to have a lot of respect for that, because when you punch air, you never miss. There's no sweet spot, and you get no feedback about whether you hit the spot you were aiming for, which is a valuable thing in life, whether you're just doing physical work or just moving through life, or in a fight. You want to be able to hit the physical mark that you are aiming for. So I don't know how powerful those kind of punches are. I guess in theory you would be whip-like soft, and then when you reach the target, everything would firm up so that your weight would suddenly be there at the end. So it's a tricky one, because it doesn't really do its power or exhibit its full momentum and full effect until the very, very end. And if your opponent crowds that a little bit, your weight's not in the strike yet. So, or if you miss, So that's one side, one way up the mountain. The other way of looking at it is the engaged core. So according to that theory, again, the weight is rooted in the feet, or your power is rooted in your feet. Your power is coming from your legs, right? But instead of the middle being soft and relaxed and ready to transmit a whippy-like strike out to your hand, the core is engaged, which means your chest is lifted a little bit, which means that the deep core abdominal muscles are slightly flexed, not hard. Obviously, you're not clenching, but it's a firm core. It's a lifted core, and it's got a solid feeling to it, right? So in this theory, the feet are still the root, the legs are the power, but as that power gets to the waist, the core rotates strongly to add power to the ripple as it goes along. So it's not a passive whip, it's an actual strengthening, it's an adding to the movement. So this is more along the lines of Western boxing. In particular, I like the Western boxing style or way of punching where you want to hit heavy. You want to fall into the punch a little bit so that your weight you have heavy hands. I like that better than the super quick, fast, jabby, light, where you're working more on speed. That's kind of out of my reach, being a guy who doesn't have a lot of fast twitch muscles and also being 65. So for me, I want to bring everything I've got with I want my weight to land in my hand. So for me, this means strong, good contact with the ground, weight shift from the legs, almost instantaneous hip turn. The hip turns right after the weight shift, or just once the momentum's going. So you need the waist is value added. It's not a thing in itself. You don't just punch with your hips. You don't just punch with your weight. It's value added. Your legs are driving that. And in the midst of that drive, there's a turn. So this way of doing it is legs, core is firm, pow, like that, rather than like that. It's not whippy, it's heavy. It comes in with power, and a different kind of power, I guess. So that's what's been working for me, definitely with the pads. And that's way better than whippy strikes for me in terms of injury prevention, because that all comes together at the last instant. And especially in fighting traditions, you'd never count on the opponent being absolutely still. You'd count on a moving target. So you're bringing a zone of issuing to a zone of where they are, and you're trying to get those to overlap completely so that your punch hits the money. A lot of punches miss, even among people who do nothing but punch, like boxers. A lot of their punches miss. So it's a hard thing to do. So what I'm saying is, upright spine, so the hips are sitting, chest is lifted a little bit, head up a little bit, engage the core, so there's like a firm feeling there, and then you're almost like you're going to push a door with your fist, except you throw it, right? So this is true of pitching, and it's true of a lot of things. If you engage the core a little bit first and firm that up, I just really prefer it these days to the soft abdomen and the whippy strike. So when I do a kick, for instance, I make sure I'm over my stuff here. I engage my core, my chest is lifted slightly, my head pulled back slightly, and boom, I can kick from there. And also with my core engaged, I can strike from there. You do all kinds of stuff with this engaged. I'm pushing through something. It's not empty. I'm not pushing through just a relaxed zone of my body and then at the last minute engaging everything. What I'm doing is I'm engaged to begin with. So when that rise, boom, it's my weight is there in that strike. So two sides of the mountain, or at least two ways to look at it. I'm sure there's others, and I'm sure someone might watch this and say, oh, well, you're misunderstanding soft and relaxed. Soft and relaxed is engage the core. But for me, they feel very different. So for me, the whippy version, if I was going to circle like this and do a back fist over there, right? The whippy version would be like this. I would be connecting my soft center to my relaxed arms and shoulders, and I would bring that around, and bam, that's when it would come together. So I'd go, bam, there. And if I'm doing the other version, I'm going to engage my core right here, and boom, like that. Like I'm turning my weight into that strike, as opposed to whipping it and then dropping into my weight. So I'm preferring the engaged core method. I've been doing it for a while now, and I've just noticed big improvement in terms of low back strain and low back tenderness and discomfort and even pain. Much easier on the neck and head. The whippy stuff is a little harder on the joints too sometimes, because unless your timing's just right, you can kind of cause micro tears in your tendons and around the joints because you're whipping these things out there. I just noticed that like everything about my posture and my well-being and my lack of discomfort in my body is supported by keeping an upright spine with an engaged core, so that when I add momentum, that core is right behind it, ready to turn and put pressure and put more power into that strike. So even on yielding movements, like if I was going to do a yielding kind of a rollback here, or like a chin style maybe here, or yang maybe here, if I was doing kind of a rollback movement, again, I can have a very soft, relaxed stomach and then come back a little firmer when I strike, or I can engage my core to begin with, so that from here I could take a punch here even though I'm soft and relaxed in this hand. So I'm really liking engaging the core. In fact, if I could go back in time and tell my 30 or even 40 or even 50-year-old self, give them some little advice about what old age is like and what they could look forward to, I would tell them, start doing planks. Start doing minute-long planks 3 or 4 times every single day. Develop your core strength. You don't necessarily have to do a whole Pilates thing or lots and lots of crunches. Find a few key core exercises and do them religiously, because as you get older, core strength is really, really, really valuable. I can't emphasize it enough in terms of falling, in terms of coordination, in terms of recovering from falling or recovering from injury if you do fall, in terms of being able to get your tasks done and be able to do the things that you need to do and stay independent physically and keep good balance. All that stuff relies a lot on core strength, the way I like to do it. So I could stand up here like this. In fact, I'll even do this. I'll do this with my shirt off. If I'm standing, like say in the ride the tiger position here, if I relax my abdomen, just let it go and settle there, I can bounce here, I can hang here, and I can even, do some movements from here. But I have a sense of heaviness in here, like I kind of swallowed a bowling ball and it's sitting in my pelvic floor like that, versus if I go to my other leg and I firm my core when I do that. So now I don't have that heavy, low feeling that I can just rest into. I have to work a little bit more, and I'm keeping my whole system online here. So from here, I can, I can do all kinds of stuff that if I relax there, I have to push through that to go do something. Whereas if my core is firm here, there's all kinds of stuff I can do. What's really cool about it is if I've really got it there, and I still haven't reached the point where I can do this easily while I'm talking, but I have all these different kicks that I can do, all these different movements that I can do, and my core is solidly here, just right over my stuff in that leg there. So I've got all this, possibilities, and I feel like strongly connected between my core waist turning stuff and my hands. And then I can feel this connection between my legs and the core. So important, I think, especially as we get older. Now, not to knock the relaxed core, relaxation is also really important. And Lord knows people are too tense and too wired, and they're just holding their bodies together because gravity's going through them sideways, and they're just, loaded with discomfort and pain of all different kinds because, their body's not aligned. So, or because their bodies aren't relaxed. So I'm all for relaxing the belly, but I'm also getting more bang for my buck out of engaging the core and keeping that a little bit firmer as I go through my movements. So I think they're both valid and good ways to move. I think that the relaxed core version has too many risks for me and doesn't yield enough martial efficacy and enough health yoga postural benefits to me in terms of managing my later years here. So I'm investing in the engaged core version. It's still got a relaxation to it. It's not like I can't turn. It's not like I got nothing there, but I'm not totally relaxing it and letting it get all heavy down here. I'm keeping a certain amount of lightness and lift to the movement while the core is engaged in there. So I like it. Also, no Western boxers will tell you to relax your stomach. They're all about engaged cores, and they're some of the best hitters in the world, if not the best. So I'm taking their cue as well. So thanks for listening. I appreciate it. If you like this kind of thing, comment below, give me a like, tell me you like it. It's always nice to hear. Hopefully it's useful. That's my intent here. I don't really have ads or anything on my YouTube channels or videos. It's all about just being helpful. So if it is, let me know. Also, I have a tip jar here under this video. If you like this kind of thing and want to toss me a few bucks, I won't turn you down. And there are also plenty of tip jars over there at GeneBurnett.com, where there's information about me and my music and my Tai Chi and all that good stuff. Thank you for watching. Much appreciated.